Today, this angle is probably not very good for seeing what I'm actually making, though. So, bop, 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 bop. Where would you like to be? Let's put you maybe more over to the side, and let's, yeah, that's better. I gotta move some stuff. Too much junk? Not junk. There's so many things here, tools and whatnot. So here we are. This is my leather working area. And today I'm working on a sheath for this awesome Damascus knife. Like, I'm so stoked on this. I messaged the person who's commissioning or commissioned it to see if they want more of a black white kind of contrast on it, and I'm not sure what they'll want. I'm really liking this subtle contrast between the layers. I think it looks mighty nice just the way it is, but we'll see. So yeah, this is my crafting area for leather, and I don't want to mess up this knife in any way. So I'm going to, it's such a mess. Let's put that there. Just trying to figure out where I'm going to put stuff. Getting organized. And at this time, I am working on, no crying, uh, a whole bunch of different sheaths. So I have some here that are already stitched. These are just little pocket sheaths for a blade that I just sold for uh, Black Friday called the Mordax. And today I'm working on a sheath for this guy. So going to be totally changing the style of it. Some of my more stock knives, because a knife can either be left carry or right carry for your pocket. I like to do them rectangular so that you can just put it on your left or your right, and it looks good either way. And add some stamping and make them look pretty. But because this is more of a custom, um, it's going to go on. I'm not sure what side. I need to find out, but that's okay. I can still design the sheath and add the pocket clip on whatever side I decide or they need or require. So yeah, this is my basement shop. Behind you is a drill press and a bandsaw, and it's what, like a 7 foot bench here. Pretty narrow, but solid. And I've got all my leather making tools here, um, other than a sander. So I'll have to run out at some point and go sand upstairs because you want your edges to be all perfectly flat and aligned, and that's hard to do um, any other way that I know of, anyway, other than touching it on the sander and cleaning up that edge. Hey, if you're here and you're watching, um, give me a like, write a comment, follow if you're interested. So, I need to make a pattern for this knife. I found a piece of paper here. I don't know what it's doing here. Sometimes my kid will work down here in this corner of the basement and um, do some sheaths for me, but not today, or not this term. University is kicking their ass, and they're always gone, and I just want them to stay home and make sheets for me. But that's okay. It's they've stepped up my game in sheath making because they are better at it than I am. So you're not getting the master class of sheath making, but you're getting a class. Wow, 27 people. I think that's the most I've had on a live. And hi to you, Wesley Oates. So again, it's for this knife. Damascus Mosaic. Just finished this guy up like this morning. I needed to shape the handle and get the bevels right. That's a G10 handle. Um, the person that commissioned it wanted a something inspired by Harley Davidson. So found some orange, found some white, made this piece in the center, and then put the black. And then there's also the orange G10 here. G10 is a fiberglass material. It works fabulously well, but it's terrible stuff. It's fiberglass, so as you're sanding it, you have to be masked up and just blow yourself off after you're done, so you're not dragging that dust everywhere. And I wear a full face mask, which is great. What's up, Debs? And that helps because it gets you I get them in my eyes and it gets itchy. Oomis, what's up? All right. So basically, what I'm gonna do is I folded my piece of paper in two, and I'm gonna lay the spine of the knife on that center point, and I'm gonna attempt to roll it without sliding around too much, uh, so that it's flat. And basically, I'm going to trace my exact profile of the knife and handle onto the paper. Okay, so basically I have, it's hard to see, but there's a black line there. Maybe I'll put the light on, that might help. Yeah, a little bit. See the black line? And I'm gonna fold it back onto itself the other way so that I can see that line, and I'm doubled up. So basically, I'm doing more of a taco style of sheath. So I'm gonna be taking my leather and folding it in two to make the sheath. Um, Once that's done, I'm gonna use a variety of different rivets that I like to store in these little organizers, and they are going to be put in strategic places so that when you put the knife into the sheath, it doesn't cut any of the stitching. And for the stitching, I'm going to be using, oh shit, check this out. I bought this by accident, not knowing. Uh, I don't know. I don't know why I bought it, but I'm going to use this orange stitching, and I'll be using a black dye on the leather so that that the theme continues between the black and orange. Ah, sometimes sometimes you get lucky. So, all right, back to the sheath, and I'm scared I'm gonna drop this knife, so I'm gonna put it. I'll just keep it here. I'll move it away afterwards. Um, Now, the first sheaths that I made were a failure because you don't want to put too much leather and have like a loose knife, or the opposite, which is what is worse. You make it too small and then your knife doesn't fit. Now, I haven't made one of these probably since going to a rectangular style. Oh, shoot, my furnace is going to go on. I haven't made one in quite a long time. Set into stitches on my shoes. Badoom, tish. All right. So I've got this, and let's move you over so you can see how I'm drawing. I don't know if that even works for you, but sure. Maybe less light. It's hard to see what you're seeing. Hope that works. So cutoff line, where how much handle I want sticking out. I think that's probably not enough, so I'm gonna bring it down. I'm just experimenting. Usually I end up making like two of these sheaths, like patterns before I'm happy with it. So, um, The handle takes up more room than the blade just because of the profile, the thickness. So you have to be careful about what you're doing there. You want more material width at the opening versus at the bottom, right? So there's the top cutoff point. Yeah, if anyone has any questions, that's part of looking at QA sticker. I always get this during my live to add a Q&A sticker. Oh, it's gone now. And it's always to ask like a random weird question. I don't get it. Plus, oh, start a Q&A. What should my Q&A be? I don't know. I think YouTube wants me to put a Q&A. Okay, have you started? Have you started watching Stranger Things? There we go. Done. Start Q&A. Okay, I'm not sure. That's on my face. I can't move it. Okay, there we go. Back to the drawing. Sorry, guys. YouTube, heavily distracted. And at one point, sorry, speaking of being distracted, I've got someone stopping by to drop off some knives for sharpening. So I'm eventually gonna just bolt and go welcome them and take their knives. Okay, so I'm gonna have, if you notice here, the space here, so you need that extra space for the stitching. And then from there, you want to give yourself a little bit extra. So something like, I'm going to grab my measuring device, about 1/2 inch wider than the actual blade profile. And you got to think that's kind of doubled up, right? Because you're folding it in two. And I'm just following approximately the width or the full length of the knife. And then I'm going to open it up for the handle. So for the handle, I'm actually going like 1 inch wider. And I usually don't add, let's see, do I have one here? Yeah, I do. When you're working on a sheath, you can do it in different layer counts. So right here, it's just simple 2-layer count. Stick your blade in there. Simple, but it kind of like, the downside of it is you need to be careful. You don't want to sever your stitches. You can do it 3 count, so 3 layers. So here, there's 3 layers of leather, and the edge of the blade will have a tendency to run up against the leather and have less of a tendency to sever anything. You'll have to cut through most of that leather, but what are the chances your knife actually sits in there perfectly flat? Who knows? You haven't started Stranger Things. Me neither. I'm hoping maybe this weekend, but I'm too busy with this stuff, so I want to take a break, but Christmas is coming and people have orders. The next knife I'm making is a dagger, and I'm kind of excited about it because it's gonna be kind of how should I say it? I'm not getting paid a lot for it. I should be getting paid a lot more, but I agreed to do it, so I'm gonna do it. But I told him like it'll be sweaty. It's not gonna be like a beautiful, like clean knife. Like it's gonna have a bit of like forged texture on it, and like the sweatiness of it. And they were like, "Yeah, that's kind of what we want." So I was like, "All right, good." And that's what you're gonna get. Okay, so I'm cutting this around, and this might be the most important part, getting that profile open, and then re-putting the blade down onto it and wrapping it around, kind of taco style, to see that, oh, we're back, to make sure that it fits properly inside this paper. Because if it doesn't even fit properly in the paper, then there's no sense making the leather sheath, because that's not gonna work either. So so it'll sit down something like that, and then I could feel inside and feel where the blade is inside the paper sheath. And now I'm thinking, if I'm stitching it here, this point might be a little tight. The rest, good, but in this area, the rest good to almost too big. So I'm gonna shrink it down here, and I'm gonna extend it here. So I want plus, let's go 3/16 of an inch here, and here we'll bring it in, change it up a little bit. How's everybody doing? So I'm working on a leather sheath for a custom Damascus knife, kind of a bushcrafter slash hunter. She's a little bit fun for bushcrafting, definitely a mean hunter, almost Tonto style tip, because it rocks up quite abruptly. But damn, it feels good in the hand. I love that that pattern. I'm quite pleased with it. So yeah, I've trimmed this down. Gonna fit it back up in there and see what happens. See what it looks like. Usually during these lives, I'm hand sanding and talking about knives. Hand sanding is not that entertaining. Okay, I'm gonna bring it in over here as well. So that first kind of layout gives you a starting point. And this second layout brings you closer to a final shape. I think I want to put a not a clasp, like a snap on it. Bit of a snap on the opening, so that it has a reduced chance of popping out, because leather will stretch and contract when it's wet. Not so much contract, but it'll open up a bit, and mold to the shape. So now I have to add right in here about 3/16. Let me see if I've got more paper. I used to have a stack here. I still do. So we'll work on white paper. If anyone has questions, just go for it. There's 10 of you here. And like, there's a like button there, a thumbs up, all that jazz. You're welcome to interact in whatever manner you see fit. Oh, I've got someone here dropping off knives. I'll be back in a little bit. Leave my headphones. Oh, 10 people. Hey. What's up? And 6 likes. What the heck? Look what I made while I was gone. $5. $5. Sharpening a knife. Sharpening a knife. All right, we're back here. Oh, now people are dropping off. There were 10 people. Down to 6. Sorry. Ah, what's up with that? All right, so I am retracing the pattern we made earlier. Um, we narrowed it here, and we need to extend it here just to make sure it's not too tight on the blade or the handle, the ricasso area to be specific. So just tracing it out again. Yeah, I have not watched Stranger Things yet. It's definitely on my watch list. I haven't heard anything, but I work by myself, so I don't talk to anyone other than you guys on Fridays. Actually, that's a lie. Last night I went out to Rose Bar in Winnipeg. That's where I'm at. And Rose Bar is in the True North Center. I'd never been to the True North Center. I had to cross through a downtown mall that I didn't even know existed, which was like kind of mind blowing. And hung out with a bunch of different makers at this event. I was featured in the Winnipeg Free Press last year as a Winnipeg creator maker, and the author of this newspaper article, that was her shtick. She would always write these articles on different makers in the city, and she is going on to other things. She's discontinuing that article, so she wanted to just get together with everyone and my furnace is going back on, and just meet up and have everyone go out for a beverage and chat and whatnot. And yeah, it was nice. It was nice talking to people that kind of do the same thing. Not the same thing as like knives, but same thing as like work solo in their kind of workshops or whatever. So I'm just going to trim a little bit more here. Usually in the blade, doesn't require too much extra. So something like that. Just trying to keep fluid lines so that it flows well and looks good. So that's the kind of side profile. It won't be as wide because it's currently flat, and it'll have that kind of rounded bent leather profile. So I'm just gonna keep chatting. I can shut up too. Maybe I'll shut up because there was 10 people when I was gone. and maybe that's just better viewing experience. I don't know. Okay. I should be messaging the person saying what side is it going on, because as far as retention, so like how you strap it to your leg, could use an Ulta clip, stitch an Ulta clip on the outside and have that good to go, or you can put it a little bit higher and put a like a belt through thing, which I think is what I'm gonna do, because this is a little bit of an underpriced item. So I think I'll do the belt clip. And I've screwed up on some belt clips in the past because I made them too narrow. And that is really unfortunate when you send it out and then you have see, there's a belt clip. I think that's the one. Oh yeah, May 2025. So that's a new size of belt clip. I'm just going to draw that on a separate piece of paper. And I always send my knives with a cool Rainy Day Forge sticker. There you go. What am I looking for? That red material. So patterns you can make out of virtually any, like a thicker cardboard, something that's not going to change sizes when you lay things out. This is fiberglass, not fiberglass. What is this called? I want to say Grip Tech. It's not Grip Tech. Kydex. Kydex is very nice as a pattern, and because I do Kydex sheaths, I've got enough of it that because I'm kind of moving away from the Kydex, I can use it as pattern material. But some people like their Kydex, and when they do, like I do a fillet sheath out of Kydex, and when that happens, well, I use the colors I have. Try to use the colors that I don't use often when I'm making the patterns. Yeah, actually, last night, if you're still here for that, from that conversation, I was talking to a guy who runs a YouTube channel, and he does a live every Monday night. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I started doing that as well, but every Friday around lunchtime. Oh, I didn't say where I went. So I was gone for quite some time because I was sharpening a knife. I considered running down here to get the phone so I can film that too, but figured whatever. This is about leather making, not sharpening knives, although that would probably make a pretty cool live. Yeah, I got to do some work tomorrow. I'm thinking of the stuff that I have yet to finish that needs to be done. I just ordered a new cutting board. I flipped this guy yesterday because it was getting pretty shredded, and I think it's dulling my blades too quicker than it should because I'm passing through the fibers of the wood. I should really make myself a leather knife. It's kind of like an ulu, big rounded, not that big, but like it's got a rounded blade. But I have not yet. And before I actually cut this belt loop, I'm going to measure up against the belt so that I don't screw up. Measure once, measure twice, measure 3 times. Okay. Sharpie. Belt loop, November 2025. All right. So it's going to go like that. Stitch, stitch. And then I said I wanted a snap on this as well. I'm gonna see if I can message the lady who's commissioning this and find out if it's a right hand carry or a left hand carry. All right. Hey, all right. Hey, you're still there. That's crazy. I see. I wonder what you guys are seeing. Is it my face really up close to the screen as I'm typing? Hey, Christopher, you started watching Stranger Things. How is it? So this guy's a right hand carry, so it'll be like this on the right hand side. So it'll be kind of like over here for the belt loop. Like that. Or do I just do the Ulta clip? You know, I ordered these off Amazon. I'm going to do the Ulta clip. It's off-brand Ulta clip. Picked off Amazon. And Ulta clips are awesome. They're just, you clasp it onto your pants and you just down and they stay on solid. I don't think these are as rugged as the actual brand name Ulta clip, but they're pretty darn great too. So skip this. Let's do it the way I would want to get it, which is with the Ulta clip. So that'll get this little pattern here. Boom. On that right hand side. Boom. And then that's it. Okay. So I also wanted a snap. So I'm going to stitch pretty much a loop that goes around here with the snap. Bam. And that'll keep the knife down nice and securely. Okay. What's next? Cut the leather. Yeah, I guess so. Okay, I'm putting this knife somewhere else. And getting some leather. Got a beautiful piece here. Leather you can buy at, there's a bunch of different stores. Myself, in Winnipeg, I think there's 3 places that sell, like that I'm aware of anyway. Different leather supplies, including the leather. This was a whole hide, a Vegetan leather, and I'm seeing that the edges here. I'll turn them. This stuff is kind of frayed out or like bumpy, not having a nice pattern to it. So I'm gonna move it away from that area, and I'm just gonna trace around it with a pencil. And again, I said I'm gonna try to stop talking, but here I am, just chit-chatting. And I think it's my inner voice kind of when I'm talking. So I'm trying to like not screw up. So I go through everything in my head. to not make mistakes, and then I end up just blabbing. Blabbing. That's a metacognitive function. All right. Let's cut. Wish I had a leather knife. I shouldn't be wishing, I should just be making one. But this works. This works quite well. Pulling towards myself, and I've got a cutting mat underneath. Yesterday I moved the light that's here, so it would be easier to see. Because I was doing more leather work, and now I'm working on this one. Okay. Bing. I like working leather because it's so bloody fast. Like, to make a knife takes hours upon hours, and to make a sheath, a couple hours and you're done. And like, there's not too many crafts that I've done that has such a fast turnaround. Christopher Robin. Are you a friend of Pooh's? Sorry, that was uncalled for. So, all right, we've got the paper pattern. We've used it to trace on to the leather, cut it out, and we'll be folding it in two to like get that right shape. Make sure the knife fits in there, and then we'll sand the edges so that everything's nice and perfect and even. One thing that happens at that stage is you'll go to fold it, and then it's like paper's nice and easy. It creases, but the leather, because you're folding it in two and there's all sorts of fibers, you end up kind of like twisting it onto itself. Not obviously to that extreme, but that little twist ends up creating the little hooks. Not little hooks. It ends up like skewing off the tip of the sheath and whatnot, and it's just something to watch out for. It looks bad when that happens, and it's nice when it doesn't. I think. Just listening to see if there's someone here. Nope. All right, let's keep going. Okay, let's cut the piece out for the Alta clip. You end up having a little pieces of scrap. This is I was just practicing some flower work. Now I want to double check the Alta clip, and that is good. I kept it really small because it usually goes on to this sheath, so it's scaled really well. Now that it's going on to a bigger sheath, I'm wondering if I should. I think I'll add a bit of length to it just to experiment a little bit. Gonna go slightly wider too. Handy tool, even if it's leather. I'm seeing this pattern's not quite square. These are called engineer's squares. They're great because they have this lip, so you can push it up to things. Great for leather, although too thick for leather. I'm considering taking this one and grinding it down to that leather thickness so that I'm not having like a downward angle onto the leather. Sure, boss. The voices in my head. So Steve is sometimes on here with me. Steve's out of Toronto, but he's out and about. He said he ran out of sandpaper, and he ran off to the store to buy some. So that gave me an idea of some social content of something that I use in my shop, which is a list of stuff to buy so I don't run out. Who would have thought? Who would have thought having a list in your shop so when you're running short of something or you've run out, you put it on the list. My list is a little bit more special than just lined paper, but essentially it's a list. Okay, so this is going to have to get a hole punched into it. There they are. These are leather punches to make holes. So I don't know what size that is. It's just my smallest one. It is 3/16 of an inch. How old are you guys? I'm talking to someone who knows what measurements are, but in reality, who's on YouTube during the day like this? I am back. Wesley Oates in the house. 36. All right. Cool. I'm like, am I talking to like a bunch of like 12-year-olds or something? Just punching out the leather out of the hole right now. It'll auto like eject, but it's yeah. So I'm just using a drill bit because it does get clogged up and it does not work as well. And I don't want to have any issues. Good for the drill bit? No. Oh well. There we go. Should probably do that every time I cut my leather. Just clean it out. All right. Alta clip. The issue I had with these Alta clips is the Chicago screws that it came with were shit. They were not good at all. So I ended up going to Tandy Leather. I was talking about leather shops earlier. That's where I get most of my stuff, Tandy. And went to Tandy Leather and picked up, bang, little hole, boom. Went to Tandy Leather and bought the right or better Chicago screws. I'm gonna pick up a large block of, I think it's granite. I think it's 3 inches thick, just on Facebook Marketplace, and start using that as a pad for like hammering and stuff. It's supposed to be great for leather. Okay, cool. Fine. I don't know until I've tried, right? So, and they're pretty close by, which is great. Usually when you find something on Facebook Marketplace, it's like, oh yeah, I'm like as far as possible around the perimeter of the city to get to, but this time it's like 10 minutes away. All right, let's take a better look at the environment that I'm in here. Swap the camera around. So before I said I had a little bandsaw and my little drill press. I've got my Kydex collection there. Over there, vacuum chambers for stabilizing wood, just household crap. Some leather scraps and little bits and bobs, gloves, some of my leather making supplies for the sheaths, like including strings. There's strings in here too. Some packaging supplies because my packaging area is right there. Different rivets and whatnot. Oh, this is an airbrush up here. I've been wanting to like do some airbrushing on the leather. I made some stamps so that I could stamp the box that I ship my products in. And then, yeah, underneath that, there's different stickers that I've printed out that I toss in with my knives. So I send off a rainy day forge sticker. Usually change them up every whenever I can. I think it kind of like creates that collectability kind of aspect of having a different sticker every I don't know, every 4 months or something like that. And sometimes I'll do a raffle, and when I do a raffle, I send everyone a sticker, and then I feel better about taking $10 from someone. I had a chance at winning a knife. It's like, I feel bad I can't give everyone a knife, but that's a raffle. All right, so I'm just cutting out from hole to hole, and that'll be the thing for the Alta clip. I ordered a nice cutting board for down here to replace this piece of wood. I got impulsive on Amazon. Just a solid plastic 1/2 inch thick cutting board. Because the underside, I cut a whole bunch yesterday. It started all chipping up and pieces of wood and dulling my blade. I was like, okay, there are products specific for cutting on, and this thin plywood is not it. So I wanted a plastic cutting board. All right, there we go. I pull about halfways, flip it, and then pull back to meet my cut. Because if you pull all the way through, you could accidentally slip and cut the joining lines. So I've got a slight cut there. I'm not concerned about it. Leather is tough. Leather is very tough. Okay, so what is the next step? Double check with this. That's good. So basically this is going to be hidden in the pocket here, and the screws are going to go on top, and then up with the thing and down onto your pocket. I guess you could mount it on the outside, to give yourself a bit of more space, and I'm sure that would look fine too. Trying to think, is that usually how I do it? User MW6OY says hi. Hello. By the way, this needs to get stitched onto this part. And that is going to happen soon. Okay, so as I fold this, my tip here has a lot of mass, and it's not going to fold nicely. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a razor blade out of its just a loose razor blade. There's a tool called a skive that is made for this exact purpose, to like trim down the thickness of leather. I do not have one. So basically I'm going to use this and just trim down the thickness of the leather at the tip so that it folds better. Necessary? No. It makes it nicer, easier to sew. I'm going to pull towards myself, and I'm going to try to get sorry, moving the camera around. I'm going to try to do it like in this whole area here to like kind of thin it out so it folds nicer. Sharp knife definitely helps. I don't want to make a whoops and cut too thin. So again, using my inner voice, can I cut away? Maybe left-handed or towards like this, sorry. So a lot of this is I learned through experimentation, just by making several of them. I wouldn't say that I'm an expert in this in any respect. I would have to say I've made way more than I actually have to be considered an expert. I'd say I'm fairly proficient at it though. It is below freezing outside. I'm in Winnipeg, Manitoba, and if you're watching this, click that like button, maybe a follow if you want to. I'm making a leather sheath for this knife. Let me go get it. It's gorgeous. Damascus blade and a Harley Davidson inspired handle made out of G10. Damascus is 1084, 15 and 20. And a low contrast Damascus. And I'm digging that pattern. And it feels great in the hand. It got a little bit narrower here than I would have liked, but it feels great. Great, great, great. Okay, since I've got the knife, I'm going to fold the leather around it to make sure that we're not going to stitch it, because the stitching is the thing that takes time. It's kind of monotonous. I think we'll be good. And that folds much nicer. I've seen people wet the back when they fold it. Sometimes if your leather is not too subtle, it could kind of crack the surface of the leather. I'd be a little upset at myself, but not being super pro either. I'd be like, next time I'll wet it. Hey, 17 people. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you watching. I would use just a wet sponge and wet it to make it a little bit more subtle. Subtle. Sorry. Okay. Okay. Where am I? Oh my God. So we got this. We got this. We're going to tape it together. This is leather adhesive. Comes in different widths, right? And it glues really well. And then you can tear it off if you have to, and then reapply a new piece. But basically, I'm nearing the point where I need to tape it together and sand it, and then I'm gonna have to tear it open. No, tape it together, sand it, make sure everything's nice and straight, drill all my holes, or do my alignment. I'm gonna use this tool right here. It cuts a line in the leather. I'll show you guys what I mean. So it sets a width. Let's get it to a more normal width. Okay. And then you run it against the leather and you cut out that line. And then you use this tool right here. And that is to kind of lay out where your holes, wow, that even kind of left little dots, where you're going to drill out your holes. Or you use these punches to punch out your holes, but I've gotten accustomed to drilling out holes. Tis the way it was shown to me. So, okay, let's apply some tape. I'm still considering like putting an extra thickness on the border. Alas, I've made a knife and a sheath is included. Not, I made a sheath and a knife is included. Like I said, not the hugest budget. So, not that I'm cutting corners, just not going all the way with it. How are you doing on this fine Friday? Mitchosaurus. I recognize your name. You've been on here before. Doing good. Doing good. Happy to get a return visitor. I'm not hand sanding this week. I'm working on a leather sheath. So that's kind of, it's what I needed to do. I should be hand sanding and doing the sheath at the same time, but I can't do it all at once. Yeah. Okay, so I applied that tape. Peel it off. With the butt. With the butt. There we go. I've got a garbage over there. Throwing it in its general direction. All right, so now one thing that I mentioned before was that weird kind of like paper, you can crease it and you get nice and flat. Leather, not necessarily. and I'm not sure how to mitigate that problem away. And it's nice to have clamps too. Where are my clamps? I had clamps down here. And that kind of holds it better together. Shoot. Maybe I should wet it here. It'll remove some of the resistance or like the bounce back. And I'll put a new piece of tape. For some reason, it's not sticking. There's a liquid adhesive as well that you can use. I've never tried it. Kind of novice in this department. So I'm trying it in a different way now. Instead of just rolling it, I am cutting it. So I'll pull off all the stickers, or the backers, sorry, not the stickers. And I usually don't use this wide one, I use the narrower one. I figured this would be more efficient, but it totally didn't work. I might run and get clamps. No, I'm gonna wet the spine with the sheath. Come on. How are things? How are things on this fine Friday? When the backer comes up, well, when it doesn't, bad. Haven't done a long form YouTube in like probably a year. All right, I'm gonna wet my sponge. I just bought these. I'm excited to try them out. Okay. So I got all my stuff at Tandy Leather. So basically what I'm looking at is how much water stays on the surface of the leather as I apply it to the leather. At first it just gets soaked in really quick, and then after a while it starts to sit on the surface. And that tells me it's well hydrated. And now I'll try folding it again. I wish I had my clamps. Where are my clamps? I know I have some in the garage. I'm going there in a couple minutes. Well, let's go up to the garage. Clamp it. Oh, I can't put the clamps on when I'm sanding. All right, let's just fold it over and hold it there and hope for the best. Now this leather is softer, less rebound, and hopefully that works better. I usually have a beard. I shaved it off last week. My wife is still looking at me strangely. Nice. I got it pretty bang on straight. There's a bit of a whoops right there at the tip. Unnoticeable. All right. That is pretty darn close too. Like I'm gonna go sand it so that these two lines or these two layers of leather match up, but you can see that they're pretty darn close. So I'm not even gonna bring you guys with me. You guys can stay and wait, or should I bring you? Someone rate me. Should I bring you along or should I run and come back within 2 minutes? You've got 10 seconds to answer. Stay or bring? Very little interaction. All right. Click follow, click like. I'll be back in a minute. I'll leave you. I'll leave the headphones. I'm back. I'm back. 16, 18, 20. How about a like, guys? Hit that thumbs up button. Okay, what's next? This is nicely sanded, so everything's at the same level height. But now you've got this like overhang straggly bit. We're going to take care of that right now, and this is maybe the most satisfying part of the leather making. You're in for a treat. Me actually doing it, bigger treat for me. We're going to be using this tool right here. This cuts that corner off the leather. So I'm going to be running it down the length, all the way to the tip, flip, all the way down, and then around the opening as well. And like I said, it just, the sound it makes, everything is very satisfying. And you kind of want to do it in one nice sweeping motion. Doesn't always work out for you. Sometimes they slip off, but all right, let's do it. There we go. So you get this nice long string. All right, side number 2. Let's angle this down a bit. Satisfaction. I could watch a video of this alone. Oh, I think now that it's wet. Okay. Oh! Take the corner off, and I think I'll leave this for after because it kind of sucks going around, and I'm gonna have to open this up too. So, all right. Using this tool, also satisfying, and I like the width that it's at already. Yep. And it's kind of nice when you're elevated a bit because of the overhang of this bar. Not so much this bar, but the center bar. And this too, you kind of want to do in one nice smooth motion. drill. There we go. So we get this nice even line all the way down. So I'm pretty much done with those two tools. On to the third one. So I'm going to set that first, I guess, spike. Excuse me. I don't know if you heard my stomach gurgle. Try to stay in that track. Am I blocking? No. Boom, just like that. So now that's all the drill holes that I'm about to do. So let's put this aside. And so I'm going to drill all those. And hopefully it matches up on this side. And I think I'll use this block to drill as well, just to get, so it's not angled. I'm going to use a drill press. So let's spin this around. Let's find a cool angle. Not a cool angle. Lock that down. Maybe you can hang out on my bandsaw. You want to hang out on my bandsaw? I don't know if it'll shake around and stuff, but that's cool. That's better, right? Maybe not. Can't see me, but whoop. So I gave that leather a bit of texture. Whoops. Hopefully everything stays nice and tight together while I'm doing this. There we go. Done with that. For now. Still need to drill this guy out. Oh, I guess we can trace those lines on there too. Oh, very little interaction today, guys. Who has a question? Tell me a deep, dark secret. Where are you guys from? How about that? That's a low barrier question. non-intrusive. Where are you guys from? I'm in Winnipeg, Manitoba, which is right in the center of Canada. And the weather today is on the chilly side. In Celsius, it is, I think, like this morning, I think was -7. So we're getting there. I'm looking forward to ice fishing, so I don't terribly mind that the weather's cooling off. There we go. So this is going to hold the Ulta clip. It's going to be stitched over here. I'm going to keep it a little bit high because the handle's going to protrude, and most of the mass, the weight, is in the handle of this knife. So I'm going to keep it kind of high, right around there. So I'm going to trace that out with a pencil so I don't have to do it again. Trying to think what's next. No, I'm just going to leave it like that. I do have a pencil on. And it's cold, that's why my furnace is going on. So I need to change my furnace filter. This weekend. Yeah, I'm out of them. I usually store them right here. So thanks for watching. I appreciate everyone stopping by. I'm using, I'm just going to repeat myself a lot since all these steps are repetitive. It's adhesive, a leather adhesive. Comes in different widths. It's a double-sided sticker. And I'm still at the not too artistic phase. Not that I'm going to get super artistic with this piece, but there is a point where you start using all your different stamps and whatnot to decorate your sheath, and that's coming up fairly soon before I stitch it. On my rectangular sheaths, I'll stitch them and then decorate, but because this one is kind of taco style, folded in two, I can't stamp it afterwards, so I'll have to stamp it flat. Come on. The entertainment value here is super high. Trying to peel the back half of a freaking sticker. Oh my god. There we go. Use a knife. Okay. And let's go in there. Let's go in there. So it's stuck there now. It's glued. I need to drill these holes so that I can stitch this as well. I guess I could have left that for afterwards, but I'm doing all the drilling, so I'm going to do all the drilling right now and finish it off. So I'm peeling this open now. I could remove this tape. It makes stitching, I think, a little bit easier, less drag when you're stitching. I don't have a stitching machine, so it's going to be all hand stitched. I bought one, had it set up here. It worked like garbage. Returning it to Amazon. It is called the Green Chinese Leather Stitching Machine. It's crap. Or maybe I got a bad one. I've been joining, like, I was trying to join Facebook groups to like figure out what's wrong with it. I think I'm just too picky. I would have had to use like really thin thread. Oh. I gotta bring the table up. Ah, there's my clamps. I was looking for these earlier. $1:49 is the time here in Winnipeg. So I'm not guessing where these holes are. I use that tooth wheel to mark the leather. Oh! That could have gone bad. How's the audio? I'm using headphones. There we go. So that is drilled and ready for stitching. All right. So what is missing? Obviously the stitching. That's going to go there. I can do some stamping. And I'm also going to put a snap here. So I need to figure that out. I suppose before I do any decorative whatever I decide, because then I'll maybe cover it up. So okay, this leather is going to be black. I'm going to stain it black. There we go. I found them. So I have two different snaps. Just the silver, just like bare steel. And then the dark ones. And I'm digging the dark ones, so I'm going to use that. And these are 4 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4. So these are 4-piece snaps. So I'm going to have to drill a hole or maybe punch a hole with that leather punch. And now I'm going to cut some leather to use as the strap for that. Oh, so the snap, and then on the back I'll use some rivets as well, or I can stitch it. I think we'll stitch it. Rivets are quick though. Rivet, bam, bam, done. Stitch, but the stitching will look nice. So would the rivets. Wondering how that'll interfere with this guy though now. Boom. Here's a strap. So it's something like this, right? And it's going to get a snap over here. Boom. And around. Even if it's just like No, it should cross over like that. That would look good. From here to there. And it's straight. And it looks good, I think, anyway. What's up, everybody? This is the most people I've seen on a live for myself, so thank you. Thanks for being here. Gonna put a rivet to snap there, and not sure what to do. Two rivets? Two rivets or stitches? Not sure. Okay, but the snap is going here. So this area here on the leather is for the snap. Okay, yeah, I need to stop and cut this leather strap for it. This I have only done once, so I'm trying to figure this out as we go along. Maybe some pre-planning would have been fruitful, but not really necessary, I don't think. See, this knife's already getting dull. I think it's from obviously cutting the leather, but also the wood, this wood board, pretty abrasive. And let's put the leather end on here. Let's draw this up. Let's make it look interesting. So it'll have the round top here going through. So it's nice to have not just the leather, this little thing to grab onto, but actually a bit of leather there to grab onto. So let's put a wide line, and what's the perimeter of this? Very similar to that. I don't know if you guys can see. Can I zoom in? Oh, you can. Wowzer. Learning. I'm learning. So I think I'll just go simple, just triangular. Just like that. And then I might go a bit narrow, like a curve here. No, let's go a bit closer. It doesn't need a lot. And then, yeah, we're going to go up and in. In and up. Okay, let's cut that. Okay, curves are hard. So I'll use a bigger cutting tool, bigger punch. I got these punches at an auction. I had no idea what the heck they were for, and had them kicking around for a long time. And then finally discovered, oh, those are for leather? Cool. Okay, let's leave that like that for now. And let's, do I cut straight line? Yeah. To there, boom, into the trash, T-rash. Yeah, I know. I know. there. This is a lot of work. I'm not getting paid enough for this. How are you guys doing? 53? Oh, my face appeared and it dropped to 38. Whew, all right. Understood. Shoot. All right. Faceless channel. Let's put the center. Mark it. Right around there. And let's do a test fit. Because I usually drill a hole, but we're going to... This is crooked. All right. That was hilarious. 59 to 38 views or viewers in like 2 seconds. All right, so I think that's good for the snap. So let's blast through this. That's good. Boom. And we'll be able to put this here. Put that there. And that little center core gets peened and it kind of opens up and secures down, sandwiches itself. And then on the other part, again, same kind of deal, just the female part. That's the male part, and the other one's the female part. All right. $73. Wow, if you guys are enjoying this, how about one of those? I'm impressed. I'm impressed. Oh, shoot. Okay, headphones died. Hope you guys can still hear me. That sounds weird now that I can hear myself. So this is gonna go across here. I'll zoom back out. Back here and to the front. Around here. Maybe I should just punch the hole right now and be done. Something like that. Yeah, let's do that. No. So I'm thinking, where's the handle going to be inside the sheath? If it's too close to here, it'll rub up against the sheath. So I want it more on this side, like that, so that it has less of a tendency to rub up against the sheath. So we're going to put it right there. If someone give me a heads up, my headphones just died. I can't tell if you guys can hear me or not. Oh boy, I got a bunch of wood in there now. Oh well, if you can't hear me, that's okay. Okay, so this, I can attach this part onto it now. And I need some tools. This Where is that? Uh-oh. I know I've got the tool somewhere. Shoot. I hate looking for things. So I'm looking for, it's a little circle called an anvil, and it's dished out so it will receive this snap. And it's not where it should be. Oh! Found it. Dished out. So it's dished out so that when you put the head of the snap, it doesn't get flattened out. All right, now I need the other part. Which I'm not sure which it is. I think this is it. So this fits on here, and as I hammer down onto it, it mushrooms out and squishes onto the leather. Oh, it's weird not having my headphones. Before it was muffling everything. Now I hear myself talking and it's odd. It's very odd. Okay. Where is that part? Right here. Let's clean this off. Most satisfying part of leather crafting right now, right here. There we go. And it's just a bit too much material here. I guess it didn't get cut. It kind of got crushed under that cutter, that punch. I'm like, I don't want to cut myself in front of everyone. Okay. All right. That's prepped up. This is getting the button. Bing. Bang. Boom. I do have an anvil beside me, but that's awesome. Hey, that worked out great. It looks a little crooked. There we go. There we go. That little snap is locked in. There we go. And on this one, like that. Same deal. I'll flip this anvil. Awesome. There we go. So now that'll come together. snap, unsnap. Beautiful, beautiful. When stuff works out great, it makes me happy. When things don't work out and you got to go back and redo things, oh, trying to fix it without marring the leather or like whatever. Super frustrating. So let's keep going. Oh, I've got a message. Zena from Nut and Crafts. Hey, how's it going? I'm not showing my face because we're trying to avoid, because I had, I think 70 people, and then they dropped as soon as they saw my face down to like 30, and it just happened again. We were up to like 80 something, showed my face, boom, everyone disappears. So ugly. I don't know, I guess it takes away their anonymity or something. They don't want to see me. I don't know, whatever, I don't care. Just like and follow. There you go. Feel bad for me. Okay, so what is next? This needs to get stitched. This is gonna get stitched on the back, or maybe riveted. If I rivet or stitch, I have to stitch before I stitch here. So this is gonna be here as well. So let's go like that. And we're going to, I think we're gonna stitch it. Yeah, let's stitch it. So let's cut this here. That was a fun event yesterday. I was talking about it earlier. Just having all these people that kind of hide in their basements just like this and do everything. That suits my interest. Awesome, Bill Smith. Just like the same type of autism or complete nerdery of like, I just want to be alone in my basement and do my stuff. Yeah. So this is going here. That snaps there. This is going here. And this part, I want to set the angle now. And it's kind of odd, but at this point it is what it is. So I'm just going to trace it out here so I don't lose my spot. Yep. And across here. So I'm going to set my stitch lines. And I want to put 2 stitch lines so it's just extra strong. Bingo. And across there. And across here. And then the wheel. Okay, I'm gonna drill that out while it's on the sheath, so it passes through both components. Nine legs. I think we can do better. I think we can do better, guys. If I get this tape off in the next 10 seconds, click that like button. I was not delaying it on purpose. I was really struggling there. Okay. There we go. We're almost at the point where we can decorate. So I've got a little drill press there behind what you guys are seeing, and just drilled out these holes so I can stitch everything. But we're at the point of either stitching, I could stitch these two things, or decorate. So we are going to stitch so these don't move around, and then we'll decorate. So I'm going to use orange around the perimeter. The sheath is going to be black, but these two, I think I'm just going to go black as a creative decision. These are the needles that I use. They are big and heavy and expensive compared to your regular sewing needles. The strings that I use are braided string. They come in all sorts of colors, different thicknesses, which is new information to me. I did not know that I could choose different thicknesses. I just thought it was like a standard leather stitching thickness. But alas, I discovered recently, because I bought a stitching machine, and now I'm returning that stitching machine. Okay, so let's, I'll prep this up. So basically I am, what knife is this for? Good question. I'll go grab it. And then I'll explain what I was doing. It's a Harley themed knife. So it's got that Damascus pattern. It's a Damascus mosaic. 1084 and 15N20, and it's kind of a bushcrafter, although I went a little bit thin on the edge, but it's going to be slicey, more hunter slash bushcrafter. I went more towards hunter with the Harley themed handle. Harley Davidson, stoked on the pattern. Sometimes people want like a really dark contrasty pattern, and I messaged the person who's ordering it. They said no, keep it that way, keep it light. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm passing the needle through the thread so that it locks onto itself, just like that. And generally, if I'm doing the whole length, I do 6 times the length of what it's required of, like the stitch length. So 1, 2, 4, 6, and I'm gonna go 12, so I could just keep stitching. And I think my arms are long enough. I'll give myself extra so I have enough stitching for that section as well. So the stitching is pretty terrible. So I'm just passing it through the top stitch, pulling it all the way through, giving myself a few inches on the back side, and then finding that hole. They're kind of hard to find sometimes. Keep your comments to yourselves. Pulling it through. The first pass, because I'm going to double stitch everything. First pass is pretty easy, pretty quick. That second pass takes a lot more effort. Although I did discover something recently that helps speed things up. And I'll share that with you in a minute. How did I learn this? By making sheaths for other knives, but also by watching a tutorial by Niels Vandenberg. He's a blacksmith out of South Africa, near Johannesburg. Fine blacksmith. And when I was getting into this, not just leatherwork, but blacksmithing, I just watched all of his tutorials, all his videos on how to make stuff. And one of the things was leather sheath making. Okay, so I'm all the way down and I'm gonna start coming back. So now these are the double stitches and these are a bit more difficult. But I recently figured out that when I'm going through the hole, right? So the needle's in there and then you wallow it out and then you can pull through. You need pretty strong fingers, and usually they get kind of tacky because the string is wax coated. It's like covered in beeswax. Wallow, and pull. And if you go too deep into the leather, you don't have that momentum, and it gets stuck. But this has been strangely a bit of a game changer for stitching. Would I prefer a stitching machine? Yeah. Are you kidding? This is the worst part of it, in my mind. My wife says she likes it, so when she has time, she does it for me. And this knife, I said I'd be done today. That was the hopes. So my focus has been on finishing the knife today, which I did this morning, and now working on the sheath. Whoop. And the sheath is going actually really well. I'm very pleased with it. Hopefully the knife fits. You never know. You might end up making a whole sheath and going, what the hell? What the hell? It doesn't even fit. And that's the worst. It's happened a few times. It has happened a few times. You learn pretty quickly not to do that. All right, I'm at the end. I've double stitched it all. I'm on my last stitch. So basically what I'm doing is I'm doing a double twist in that last loop with the little end. I'm gonna pull it. It's pretty much doing like your first knot when you tie your laces, except it's a double knot. I'm grabbing some pliers and cinching that knot inside between the layers of leather. And I leave about an eighth of that string left over. And then I use a lighter to kind of, it swells up and it kind of glues together. Shoot! I'll be back. Here, let's put a $5 bill there so people know it's Canadian. Canada. All right. Any other messages? You're living the dream. Oh my God, yeah, I am living the dream. Thanks, man. Yeah, it is a nice knife. Hell yeah, baby. Hunting, football, fishing. All right, so got that little nub right there. Melt it down, wait a second, and then bop, bop, bop. And you get that little circle of plastic, and that kind of holds everything into place so it doesn't fray or come undone. So far, so good anyway. I haven't had any complaints. All right. Let's do the other one. Start on top. Again, give myself an inch and a half there. Ah, shoot. Just too strong. What if I had a voice like this? The leather maker stitches his leather. Furiously? Yeah, furiously. He's not furry. He does it with fury. Feverishly stitching the leather. First pass, nice and easy. Maybe I repeat myself too much and annoys people that have been sitting there watching for a while. But I'd have to say this is probably my most successful live for the reason that I think something's getting accomplished. Usually I'm just hand sanding a knife and I can see what I'm accomplishing, but nobody else can really see what I'm accomplishing. I also learned people don't want to see my face. Because I was like at like 80 something viewers. I showed my face and it dropped to like 30 something. I thought that was freaking hilarious. I'm like, wow, I've got like 90 people. I look at the screen. Oh, they have disappeared. So that's why I'm covering my face now if I look at the thing. All right. No one wants to see this old man. Hey, got 12 likes now. Thanks you. Thanks you so much, is. I like, oh, I got something else that's really neat here. I've never tried this. It's not even open. It's called Pro Resist. And basically what you do is you could, you stamp, you apply that, and then you put one color, and then you wipe away, and lots of the dye is like resisted. And then you put on your second coat of dye to soak in, and you get kind of like a two-tone dyeing. But the resist allows the ink to just sit in the recesses. So like wherever your stamp work is, ends up being a different color. So I'm kind of looking forward to experimenting with that. This sheath is going to be black, so I'm not going to be doing it on this one per se. But I'll have to just do a test piece. So, all right, I'm at the end of this loop again. Twist, twist. And I'm setting the knot on the inside of the leather. Grabbing some pliers so I can latch on properly. Why is this so difficult? Giving it a little tug. Leave about 1/8 of an inch. Snip. Snip. Some of the leather supply stores offer classes as well. I've never taken one, but last time I was there, I was like, man, you know, maybe it would be smart to take a class. Maybe. All right. So now this is the strap. And I'm not finding the back hole. Did I not drill through? Yeah. I'm gonna move you guys just a tiny bit. Just like that. There we go. So I'm trying to stitch this retention strap right here. There we go. When I stitch the profile, it's going to be stitched in orange, this color, to match the knife. I just happen to have that orange, so I'm going to use it. Come on. There we go. Why is this so hard for me today? Not today, but now. There we go. You want to make sure you don't like scoop up that little end tail. So I don't have the vocabulary. What is that thing called? The tail, the butt. Nah, I'd be more of a tail than a butt. Yeah, I'm happy with the stitching here. I wasn't sure if I should stitch or rivet, and I decided to stitch because I thought it would be cleaner looking, and I don't regret it. For the couple minutes it takes, rivets are pretty quick, or quicker, because you just drill your hole, slam it with a hammer, and you're kind of done. Although, if you slam it crooked, that's bad news. And then it's not fun to remove. And then you end up kind of marring the leather around it. As the maker, you notice it. Maybe as the owner, you don't. But other makers know the look and go, ooh, he had to remove that rivet to put a new one, didn't he? Okay, we're back stitching now. Yeah, trying to anyway. There we go. Wallow, wallow. That wallow, wallow action. I made the discovery a little while back, like a couple weeks ago maybe. And I was like, game changer. Because otherwise your needle gets stuck in there and it's a headache. Where am I? Here? Yeah. And across. We're on the home stretch. "51 viewers. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm enjoying myself. I hope you guys are enjoying this too. or learning something, maybe. Leather is a fun craft. Something that doesn't take too much time. Like, I've been working on this for the last hour 40. I've been going at it though. I did have to stop and go sharpen a knife for a customer. But other than that, like, I've been going straight through from designing the pattern for making this. It's a fun craft. You should get into it and make the sheaths for me. I will pay you like dirt, unfortunately. But imagine me not having to do this. I'm just kidding. This is like a part I actually really do enjoy. Because it's quick. Knife making takes so much time. All right, gave that a pull. Cut. Oh baby, we're getting to the fun part. Ooh. All right, we are done stitching these things. So this gets wrapped around here, clasp, and this is the clip that's going to be there to attach to your right pocket. And the knife straight here. Harley Davidson inspired colorway for the handle, and 1084, 15 and 20 carbon steel, mosaic Damascus. I don't know how many layers. Several layers. S-bar stacked in reverse order to create that wavy pattern. Okay. Fun part, I said, right? Okay. Let's go. So these are my stamps. Man, I was at the store and I was looking at them like a week and a half ago. And I was like, oh, I want to get it all. I want to get them all. But I bought these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're all 7. They're called, most of these are backgrounding tools. These two, I think, are called seeds because they have kind of like a seed shape to them. And you can do different patterns with them to make like, see, I was I was experimenting, making little things, trying to figure out like, how do you do this? I need to like actually just like spend an afternoon and just like have fun experimenting with this stuff. But one classic, nope, don't have it. Classic thing that I like doing, just along the stitch line. So this is the front. So I'll be decorating this side of the sheath. I'm gonna go pretty minimalist though. Spent enough time working on it. So basically I'll be using, I think I'll use the medium one. I don't know what it's called, just call it the C tool. And I'll be stamping it, boom, 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 all the way down. And that adds a lot of texture and kind of breaks out the pattern. And then I think I'll probably set 2 diagonal lines here and fill it in with a pattern. I have a pin cushion design, which is kind of neat. This one, kind of like dragon scale. Not really feeling that. I kind of dig the pin cushion. Makes me think of like maybe the seat of a retro motorcycle. So we'll go with that. This one's really nice. This is maybe my favorite one. Kind of looks like weaving. This one's really cool too. These guys I bought, I think, on Etsy. So I think we'll go with that guy. That guy. But yeah, there are some guys that make, guys and gals, not to exclude anyone, that just do incredible work. Like, this is what they do. This is just a side thing for me with the knife making. So I dedicate way more time to the knife making. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna move my anvil here. Put my punches here. Those are the two I'm using. I'm gonna pick up a nice block tomorrow of granite, I think. But until then, we've got the anvil, and this just helps stuff not move around. And I'm not gonna wet it a lot. I don't know why it's turning white there. I don't know. This kind of helps the leather not tear when you're doing this. Simple patterns, I don't think it really needs. Like, that would probably wasn't necessary. In fact, sometimes I find it it's a bit of a hindrance because it'll the leather will stretch more. So I don't know if you guys can see well. If I was, I'll just move you guys. Whoa, whole change of perspective. There we go. So let's go. I'm just staying away from my stitch holes, and the tip of the C gets lined up with the last C, the last tip of the C. And I'm talking about the leather C, because that's what I call this stamp. I really don't know what it's meant to be called. I just buy the stuff and use it. Having a wet sheath also makes the stitching a little bit easier because the leather stretches under the needle. And I'll show you guys what this looks like in just a moment. It's a quick process, so I made a couple sheaths this week, really simple ones like this, and I didn't put the C's around it, and I totally regret not doing it. I was like, man, for the 30 seconds or the 60 seconds it takes to put that pattern, and it adds like so much, like bam, 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 and you're done. So I'm just gonna do the front. Now I need to, this is gonna go around here. So I'm just gonna grab my pencil, and I'm gonna want, let's put it just below. There we go, there. So I'm just laying out where I'm gonna put my stencils, or not stencils, that pattern. I'm curious, bought a wallet today, and I'm curious as to your opinion. How can you tell if something is a high quality leather? Dude, I have no, well, I don't know. Hey, Zach's there. What's up, Zach? Looks good, thank you. Yeah, I know the maker. Like, honestly, like, if I were to order a leather, I would go to a wallet, I would go to Dad Hands on Instagram and order from them because I know them. I've met them. I've seen their work. I follow them. Get to know your maker and get to know what they do, right? Okay, so I'm extending that bar tool that I used earlier to cut a trough. I'm just making up words here. So I'm going to put my ruler down, trace along that line with the trough, and then I'm gonna create that pattern going up to a certain spot, and then I'll create my second trough. This one is hard to lay out because a slight change in angle makes the whole thing askew, but at the same time, leather's is super forgiving. You can move stuff around even if you've made mistakes and it'll still look good. So cut that trough. Now I'm feeling a little stressed actually. So let's wet this so I don't need to hammer as hard. So what I'm watching is how fast the water absorbs into the leather. After a while, it gets a little saturated and the water stands on the surface of the leather, and then you kind of just stop. Yeah, so I'm gonna go past that trough by a little bit. What is a good way of doing this? Full send. Probably, I'm looking at this point and this point and trying to try to keep things lined up. And you don't really need to hammer too hard. Maybe a little bit harder than that though. There we go. Pin cushion. So I think this first line is probably the most important. And you kind of set the last pin of the design in the back half. And this is getting a 3-pin design. There we go. And what happens is when I'm going to put the dye, I'm in Italy right now. Vendor, thanks. Yeah, you got to be careful. Some people will sell you absolute garbage. I take part in a market where if you're busted selling like work by other people's stuff, they will stop you from coming back. So you can't like buy crap from Italy, from Etsy. So you can't buy crap from Etsy and then tell people, no, I made it, when it's really not your work. So yeah, I don't know. Depends on the market you're at. Yeah, this stamp is tough. I'm gonna move you over a bit more. So I'm being I'll show you what's going on. So it's lining up really well right now. I'm super happy with it. I've done it before where like you stamp down and then you see kind of like a shadow of like the pin in the cushion at a different position. It's like, it wasn't straight. It's frustrating. It's gonna happen. But I'm really taking my time because I know that if I rush it, I'll screw up. And I'm really enjoying this. This sheath is coming together really well, so I don't want to make any mistakes. Zach, if you're still there, I sharpened your grandmother's knife today. During this live, actually. All right, let's go another full row of pincushion. Taxi. Heard my dog yawning. Hey, good girl. All right, last row. 1, 2. Don't mess it up. I remember her from at school. I don't know if she donated her time there or what she was doing. The little dog thinks something nefarious is happening outside. All right. Last cut. There we go. There we go. Pin cushions. That looks awesome. I'm so stoked. Nice, nice. Yeah, I went outside with the knife and I had a piece of paper and she just waited in the car and I was out front and I like cut lines off the paper. And yeah, she looked pleased. Nice. Yes. Stoked. Stoked, stoked, stoked. Okay, I need to stitch it. Let's get her done. Goodbye. Anvil. Are you guys happy where you're positioned? Sure, why not? If you're not happy, move yourself. Oh, come on, tripod. Don't fall over now. Okay, there we go. Harley Davidson, getting the orange thread. For this sheath in particular, this design requires 6 times the length. So there's 1. So I'm lining it up with the stitch line. So 1, 2, 4, and 6. Cut. I need a needle. Those are not needles. There's a needle. Big ass needles right there. Kind of hard for you to see the needle. There we go. Pass it through the eye. Wow, see that? That was fast. And through the thread. So it's a thread that is woven or braided, I should say. Waxed tiger thread, 1 millimeter. And the black one I was using before, 1.2 millimeters. See, I didn't know that it came in different millimeters until I bought that stitching machine. And that stitching machine, I wasted so much time goofing around with it. So we're going from here to the tip and then back stitching it all. And then rivets and then dyeing it. So we've got 40 minutes left maybe. Thanks for sticking around. I'm sure some people have been here for a bit. Oh, I just got paid for a couple knives. Awesome. All my Mordax, I had a Black Friday sale on my website. Actually, never even really made it to my website because there were some signups for advance Black Friday sales, and they all sold before I actually like could open it up to other people. Pretty awesome. Pretty darn awesome. Whoop. Let's not do that. And in fact, stitch it down or snap it down. This thread is kind of stretchy. When I pull it to the max, I can hear it like, I don't know if you can hear that. Whatever. Whatever. I feel the difference between the 1mm and 1.2mm thread. It's surprising how much 0.2mm makes a difference. I'm really stoked on this orange though, because what'll happen is the dye will affect the leather, but not the thread. It resists. It's not, I guess it's a synthetic, and the dye doesn't affect it. So what we'll have is black and the orange lines around it. I usually just use black thread. I've got like a dark blue, a red, a green, but I kind of slowed down on getting too creative with my thread colors. Just keeping things standard. If I was into leather making, like more seriously, then I would probably experiment a little bit more. If anyone has questions, go for it. One guy asked, how do I tell the quality of the leather? I don't know. I've only bought this weight of leather and this from the same company. I hate when that happens. And this is a Vegetan, I believe bovine, so it's cow leather. Oh, shoot. Okay, that'll happen. So I like went around and stitched it by accident. So you could actually just pull back all the way through and send it butt end forward. Or maybe, let's just go back this way. That'll work. And out she comes. Yeah, your grandmother's knife had little chips in it. And, but beautiful knife. Oh, I should have told her why it was chipping and how to avoid chipping. I'll send her a message. Your grandma and I are pretty tight now, you know? We go way back. Exactly. We go way back. Maybe she did like a parent teacher for your mom and dad at one point or something. Or maybe she donated time to the school, like volunteer time. So I'm double stitching now. This is the harder part, although it's working pretty well with this string. But are my hands cramped? Yeah, they're cramped. When I go for massages, the lady will massage my forearms sometimes or my hands, and she's like, these are not normal muscles. They're like leg muscles that you're used to just working them all the time when you're walking, and I guess they get a certain endurance type of feel to them. And she's like, yep, it's like that. Like, yeah, I'm always pinching and holding and pulling and crushing with my fingers. It's a fun hobby. Leather. If I could do leather just as a hobby, that'd be sweet. I would make sheaths for other makers. Actually, I've made sheaths for other people for knives. They're like, hey, do you make just the sheaths? Yep. So they've reached out, and I should have stuck the knife in there before double stitching it, just to make sure it fits, but I'm pretty confident. Excuse me. If you're still here and you have not liked the live yet, do me a favor. Click the thumbs up button. You can even follow. I try to go live every Friday for usually not this long. This is my longest live by 100 minutes. Usually go around 60 minutes. I see we're at 160 minutes. This is cool. I might be able to actually export this video and do a kind of a vertical long form of the sheath making. I'm not sure. Probably won't take the time to do that. My fingers are sore. Yeah, we're gonna stain or dye before putting the rivets, I think. I've done it both ways. And sometimes you get a little ring around the rivet because the dye won't pour underneath it. Like it won't get there. Woo, we're almost at the end. Oh my God. Oh my God. There we go. Loop, loop. Pull, get the knot right inside the leather. Cinch it down. About 1/8 of an inch. There we go. Beautiful. Nick says hi. Hi, Nick. All right. What do I have here? Okay, I do have gloves. Perfect. I don't want to dye my hands. Okay, let's look at dyes. There's lots of different dyes. Oxblood is one of my favorites. Medium brown, beautiful, just got that one. And the Spanish brown, which I'm a big fan of as well. Dark brown, my kid likes it. It's nice. Okay, we're gonna use this. Or was it dark chocolate that he liked? Mahogany. No, it's mahogany that I like. Dark brown. These are antiquing dyes. So I think I'm gonna go this you put on, I think, as a second coat to get into like the cracks of stuff. So I'm gonna go I'm not sure what I'm doing. So we're gonna use let's just go with that. And this one, I think you're supposed to rub it into the leather with a pad. Usually you use, with the dyes, you use these little applicators like this. They absorb the dye. You just scrub it back and forth. With these gels, you want to be rubbing it into it, kind of circular motion stuff. I need a piece of rag. Let's look at the knife first. Make sure it fits in there. Perfect. That's a little bit loose. That's disappointing. That I should have looked at before. Oh well. It'll stop things from coming out anyways, so. Kind of disappointed all of a sudden. There's the knife though. She's beaut. Let's find a rag. I'll be back in a second. Perfect. I've got this old, it's kind of like a dishcloth. I think these will be fantastic for this. Shake well. I'm disappointed with the strap. I went too fast. It looks good. Oh well. So this stuff is gloopy. The dye is very very liquidy. So I'm just gonna rub it in. See how it kind of sits in the cracks there? That's what I think the antiquing part of it is it like it fills in those voids and it makes those areas even darker than the rest of the leather. Trying to get into all the little cracks there. And on the edges. And then at the end, we're gonna seal it with a wax. Probably give it some time before waxing it so that things dry out. But you give it a nice layer of wax, and then it just starts to shine up. It'll patina just like wearing it like in your pocket or whatever. Leather's great because it ages so well. And this is a black antiquing gel. So it really it sits in the cracks and makes those areas a little bit darker than other areas. And you want to rub it into everything. And where it sits, it's going to get darker. Where your like dye is just going to like, it changes the color, boom, you're done. And this needs that extra rubbing. Okay. Shoot. Dax. Yeah, if anyone has questions or whatever, just shoot. Ask away. And if you don't have a question, you have to hit the like button. The thumbs up. I wonder if Steve came to see. Steve usually joins me on this live. or has joined me. He was busy getting some sandpaper today. I told him every Friday, get prepped up. We'll go live. We'll do something interesting. That's looking pretty good. Just doing the strap on both sides, so that you don't see the raw leather on it when the knife is in there. But at the same time, I would potentially just cut this strap off. It's a little bit on the long side. I don't know why I thought it would be good. But I did. Let's just do the entrance here, the mouth of the sheath. Is it a mouth? I don't know. Sheath anatomy. Heck yeah. I am pleased with that. I'm going to put probably, oh, hang on. I'm seeing a bit of area that needs some dye. All right. Let's put this aside. So basically I would, because the knife is going to come in the sheath, and with that sharp edge, I don't want it cutting the string from the stitching. So I'll be adding I'll probably add a rivet here so that this doesn't fray out, and then probably a rivet or 3 here. 3 because it's nicer together, so that if the blade comes down, it doesn't cut those stitches. But I'm gonna let this dry, and I don't know, check out Rainy Day Forge on Instagram, or I'll post a photo here. You can post photos on YouTube, but if you're interested, I'll definitely put it on Instagram as well. And that's it. We're done. What do you think? Drop a follow, give me a like. If you see me, buy me a sandwich. I don't know, I'm just saying words now. We're done. We're done. Check it out. That sheath is complete, other than wax and rivets. The wax is gonna make it shine, and the rivets are gonna protect the string. And this is the knife that's going in there. I think that's pretty solid. I undercharged. That's the story of my life. Oh, well, have a good day, guys. Have a great weekend, and see you guys later.